Hello and welcome to Westman This Week for Friday, February 28th. I'm Kira McKay and here's what's making headlines. Locals came out in support for Ukraine. The Brandon Wheat Kings look to get back in the win column. And finally, where's the beef? We are going to show you. All that and more on Westman This Week. This week marked the third anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Thousands of rallies were held around the world to mark the day, including right here in Brandon. Our Sofia Frolova has more in this story.
Around 7 million Ukrainians have been forced to flee since February of 2022. Manitoba alone has welcomed more than 30,000 Ukrainian refugees. Protesters with posters and flags filled city streets around the world on February 24th. The Ukrainian-Canadian Association Trezub gathered to show solidarity with Ukraine. The march made its way to Brandon City Hall after a ceremony at the BU campus. There, the Ukrainian flag was raised. In January, the Ukrainian-Canadian Congress warned that many of the 300,000 Ukrainians in Canada are facing uncertainties as their temporary residence permits are near expiration. For Westman This Week in Brandon, I'm Sofia Frolova.
Housing in Brandon has never been more expensive, and there's not enough of it. That was the verdict of a forum held this week in Brandon. Here's Stephen Whitehead with more.
With inflation on the rise and living within a budget being more difficult than ever, homeowners have some concerns regarding the future. Across the last couple of years, housing prices have seen all-time highs. Over 100 homeowners attended a recent open house at the Keystone Centre in hopes of reassurance about the future of Brandon's housing. But it raised some concerns. With Brandon already running short on homes and growing at an all-time rate, some serious changes will have to be made. The biggest concern at the open house was the impending property tax hikes needed for more housing, which leaves one question in everyone's mind. What's the best course of action moving forward to get Brandon through the current issue? I'm Stephen Whitehead, Westman This Week, Brandon.
Sun's out, dogs out. Melting snow means our popular walking areas are getting busy again. Our Kira Stephens has more.
For Westman This Week, I'm Kira Stevens here at the Riverbank Discovery Center, and after many extreme cold warnings, it is finally starting to warm up. And for the people here at the Riverbank, that means the walking paths are back in action. Walking paths here at the Discovery Center are a popular spot to walk yourself or your furry friend. There's multiple routes that you can take around the beautiful scenery, and every day dog owners choose this location as a spot to take their dogs out for a walk.
I'm so glad it's here, and I'm glad that there should be more parks in Brandon. I'm glad that we have this one at least, and I'm glad they keep up the trails, and we're seeing lots of skiers here now, and yeah, it's a great place.
The Riverbank is not only good for walking, but once this snow clears up, it will be ready to host some events, including Canada Day and National Indigenous Peoples Day. It's good for exercise and entertainment. From Westman This Week, I'm Kira Stevens.
The local Brandon Humane Society has just wrapped up a successful fundraising campaign in our city. They were partnered with local restaurant Boston Pizza. Feeding hearts and paws is vital for the Humane Society to continue its work in Brandon. As Erica Brake tells us, they cannot continue without our support.
Brandon's Humane Society has been a community staple for decades, and it's funded entirely by the community. From volunteers to Wheat Kings license plates to fundraising initiatives, the people of Brandon step up for animals in need. The Humane Society is a no-kill shelter, and all funds raised help to care for the shelter's cats and dogs until they find their forever home. Care includes shelter, food, and veterinary visits. Any support is greatly appreciated, both by the animals and the people who run the shelter.
We're at the mercy of kind, animal-loving people. We do our own fundraising, so when we get great businesses in the community that want to do a fundraiser and choose us, it's amazing.
The shelter is currently looking for volunteers, and if you're interested in volunteering or fostering for the shelter, you can find information on how to do so at brandonhumanesociety.ca. Erica Brake, Westman This Week, Brandon.
The latest play from Mecca Productions is about to hit the stage. A Midsummer Night's Dream is filled with fairies and magic, a feast for fantasy enthusiasts. Here's John Lopez with the details.
A Midsummer Night Dream comes to life at the Western Manitoba Sentinel Auditorium. On February 28, 2025 at 7:30 p.m., the Western Manitoba Sentinel Auditorium will host a magical evening as A Midsummer Night's Dream takes center stage. Shakespeare's enchanting tale of love, mischief, and mistaken identities will captivate audience with its blend of comedy, fantasy, and romance. The production, featuring a talented local cast, promises to bring the mystical world of fairies and mortals to life through stunning visuals and memorable performance.
People should come see Midsummer Night's Dream, for one thing, to come support local people doing local things, right? The more people we have to come see Brandonites doing things in Brandon, the more opportunities we're going to get to do things like that. It's a fun night out, and it's something different that will bring back a little bit of high school feelings, but hopefully show you that, oh, hey, it actually wasn't as stupid as I thought it was. We're going for palatable, approachable, really fun. So I hope a lot of people can come out and see it.
Tickets are $36 for adult, $31 for senior and student, and for the kids 12 to under are $26. Get yours now before they vanish into thin air. I'm John Lopez, Westman This Week, Brandon.
Jazz nights at Brandon University are in full swing every Wednesday night. With the details, here's our Jennifer Klein.
In Brandon, the jazz scene is alive and thriving every Wednesday evening. BU's talented jazz students take to the stage, showcasing their skills and passion in the music. Whether you're a longtime jazz enthusiast or a curious newcomer, every Wednesday promises a fun and fresh experience. Just check BU Jazz students on Instagram to see where they will be performing and what time. The performances are free to attend and open to all, offering a unique opportunity to support the budding talent within BU's music program. So mark your calendars and join the rhythm with BU Jazz students every Wednesday evening. I'm Jennifer Klein, Westman This Week, Brandon.
It's been a few weeks since this year's Multicultural Festival wrapped up. The official attendance numbers aren't yet in. Organizers were aiming to double the attendance of previous years, but locals are already saying the turnout was a success. I was able to check out one of the pavilions.
Hi, this is Kira over at God's United Church, and a lot of people are coming in to see a taste of Filipino culture as the Philippine Pavilion is taking place here. The Multicultural Festival happens once a year, and we thought it's hard to showcase Brandon's culture and international.
That's it for local news. Coming up after the break is our Ewan McFarlane with international headlines. Stay with us. Welcome back. Joining us now with the international stories making headlines. Here's Ewan McFarlane.
Thanks, Kira. We will start with the latest in the ongoing Ukraine-Russia peace negotiations. Ukraine's efforts fighting Russia may soon be getting more help from the United States. The two countries have been holding talks regarding the U.S. getting access to rare earth minerals in Ukraine. In exchange, the U.S. will help end the Kremlin's invasion and provide Ukraine a reconstruction fund. Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky, who is expected to come to Washington, D.C. soon, has said his country will not repay the money it previously received from the Biden administration. No official agreement or deal has been reached. A deportation flight landed in Venezuela with more than 200 illegal migrants. 242 people were on the flight that originated in Mexico and is part of the effort by the U.S. to deport people they claim crossed the border illegally. A flight carrying 65 deported immigrants arrived in Costa Rica from the U.S. on Tuesday. This was part of a bilateral agreement between the two nations that seeks to repatriate undocumented immigrants to their countries of origin. Taiwan's Coast Guard detained a cargo ship and its Chinese crew on Tuesday and said it was investigating whether the vessel had deliberately cut an undersea internet cable in the latest possible breach of the island's communication lines. The vessel, suspected of damaging the cable connecting Taiwan to its outlying Penghu Islands. The Coast Guard said it intercepted and boarded the vessel before escorting it back to port for investigation. In recent years, multiple undersea telecoms cables around Taiwan have suffered suspicious damage. The Blue Ghost lunar lander has shared some stunning up-close visuals of the moon. The private U.S. spacecraft images show the moon's far side, which is not visible from Earth. They show the moon's rocky surface dotted with impact craters and boulders. The lunar lander also captured stunning imagery of the moon's south pole. Blue Ghost will attempt a moon landing on March 2nd. Java junkies have to go down under for the ultimate pick-me-up. Toby's Estate Coffee Roasters in Sydney, Australia, won the top spot on the list of the world's 100 best coffee shops. Onyx Coffee Lab, headquartered in Arkansas, came in the runner-up slot, while Vienna's Gouda Coffee was in third. Coffee and food quality, customer service, and sustainability practices are among the factors taken into consideration. And that's all the time we have for the international headlines. We'll take a short break, and Matt Schroeder will be here with the Weekender.
It's a busy weekend around town. Here's what's going on. Brandon University is celebrating the 15th anniversary Clarinet Festival this coming weekend. Clarinet Fest takes place at the Lauren Watson Recital Hall with workshops in the afternoon and the main concert starting at 7 p.m. For all you rock and roll fans, the Beavers are coming back to the 40 this weekend. They are a rock and roll dance band from Winnipeg and Portage la Prairie. Shows run Friday and Saturday, and doors open at 9 p.m. and the cover is $10 at the door. White Mud Blues make their triumphant return to Westman. They are playing at Lady of the Lake Friday night. The show runs from 8 to 10 p.m. and tickets are $12 on Eventbrite or available at the door. The annual Healthy Lake Ice Fishing Derby takes place at Pelican Lake this Saturday. The event takes off on March 1st at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and the entry fee is $60. All proceeds will go towards the Healthy Lake Committee's projects in Pelican Lake. Mecca Productions presents us with Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream at the WMCA. The show runs tonight at 7:30 and there is a matinee at 3 on Saturday. Tickets range from $27 for children and $37 for adults and are available at the WMCA.ca website. Also at the WMCA this weekend is Rhythm of the Dance. This Iron-themed dance and musical show runs Sunday at 7:30. Tickets are available at WMCA.ca and are $82. For moviegoers, you can watch Woody Harrelson at the Deep Sea Adventure Last Breath at Landmark Cinemas. For tickets and showtimes, check landmarkcinemas.com. Over at the Evans Theater, Hard Shrews is playing. This heartfelt drama comedy stars noted character actor Marianne Jean-Baptiste. Showtimes are 7 p.m. and tickets are $6 at the door. Brandon Parks and Rec is putting on a winter carnival this Saturday from 12 to 3 p.m. Activities will be hosted on the Sportsplex track in field and include pony rides, carnival games, snowshoeing, skating, and more. All activities are free of charge and free hot dogs will be available as well. And the weather for the winter carnival looks ideal as we continue with warmer conditions. Friday we can expect a high of 2 and a low of -14 and it will remain cloudy. Saturday temperatures will drop a bit as we expect a high of -6 and a low of -17 with sunny skies. And on Sunday, back to cloudy conditions with a high of +2 and a low of -12. And those warmer temperatures should continue well into next week. There's a lot to do in and around Westman this weekend. Get out and enjoy. For the Weekender, I'm Matt Schroeder, and we'll take a short break. When we come back, John Lopez will have all your local sports details.
Welcome back to Westman This Week. I'm Kira McKay. Joining me now is John Lopez with a look at local sports. The end of February means playoff time, right, John?
That's right, Kira. A number of teams are battling for spots in the postseason. The Brandon Wheat Kings are looking to clinch a playoff position. There are 12 games remaining after Wednesday's action as they hosted Edmonton. Edmonton had a 1-point lead in the Eastern Conference standing and would open the scoring early in the first. But Brandon answered back in a big way as Adam Boloshku scored his third of the season late in the first with only 0.4 seconds left on the clock. In second, Marcus Wynn notched his 38th of the year and his 100th goal in his WHL career. The Vikings got additional marker from D-man George Yos Pandelis. Joby Baumiller scored in 15 in the third to round up the scoring. Carson B. Anderson was solid in the net for the Wheaties as he stopped 46 out of 47 shots in a 4-1 final to get back Brandon in the win column. With the win, Brandon gets back to within 1 point of the East Division, leading Prince Albert Riders. Saskatoon is only 2 points behind Brandon. Swift Current rounds out the top 4 in the East. If the Wheaties can get back to the first in the division, they will give themselves a better spot in WHL playoff picture. Brandon hosts Lethbridge tonight at Westover Place, and the Medicine Hat is in town on Saturday. Puck drops at 7:30. When they hit the road for a four-game out-of-town swing starting in Red Deer on Tuesday, their next home action is March 12 against Saskatoon. In new sports, the Brandon University Bobcats men's volleyball team has wrapped up the regular season and are now on to the first round of the playoffs this weekend. The BU men's team has been hard at work in preparing for their first round matchup against the UBC Thunderbirds. They will make the long trip to Vancouver for a best-of-3 series this weekend. 2 meetings this season, the Bobcats have lost both games, but with newfound hope, the Bobcats feel confident that they can make a deep run in the playoffs. Another source of hope comes from being the host for this year's U Sports National Championship. Head coach Grant Wilson, outside hitter Riley Grusin are optimistic going to the quarterfinals this weekend.
I'm pretty enthused about it. I mean, it's been a tough season. There's been lots of ups, lots of downs, but the last little while we've started to play a little bit better. Our goal is always to play the best at the end of the year, and so here we are, and hopefully we can kind of continue the trend with how we played the last few weeks.
I mean, it's awesome. Like, we always get great crowds here, and the crowds help us a ton. So we're excited to have that opportunity to play such a good competition, especially in this town, which I think is a great volleyball town, and it's exciting because I think it's helping grow the game here, so it's cool.
Game 2 takes place tonight at 7 p.m., and if necessary, Game 3 takes place tomorrow at 8 p.m. The winners from this weekend's matchup will advance to the Canada's West Final Four next weekend. Then the Bobcats will return to Brandon to host the U Sports Men's National Volleyball Championship on March 21st to 23rd at the Healthy Living Center. The AAA Brandon Wheat Kings have finished the regular season in the first place in the Manitoba AAA Hockey League. They ended the year with a record of 40 wins and 8 losses, which would give them 83 points. The Winnipeg Wild finished in the second place, 1 point back of Brandon with 82 points. Third place went to Winnipeg Bruins, who earned 75 points. In fourth place was the Winnipeg Trashers with 61 points. The Southwest Cougars ended in fifth place with 58 points. Rounding out the last 3 playoff spots were the Pebian Valley Hawks, the Interlake Lightning, and the Eastman Selects. So now it's playoff time. The number 1 seeded Wheat Kings will take on the 8 seeded Eastman Selects, with Game 1 taking place on Saturday night at J&G Homes Arena, with the puck dropping at 7:30. The other play matchup will be the number 2 Wild going up against the number 7 Lightning. The third place Bruins are facing up against the number 6 Hawks, and the number 4 Thrasher will match up against the 5th seeded Cougars. The first round playoffs gets underway this weekend as everyone looks to start their journey towards the President Trophy and a spot in the Western Regionals in Kenora. The Assiniboine Cougars women's hockey team has concluded their final set of games. Matt Schroeder has the details.
I'm here outside J&G Homes Arena, where the Assiniboine Cougars women's hockey team has won or tied 24 of their last 26 games. The Cougars, ranked first in their respective division, are hoping to make a run at winning the American Collegiate Hockey Association Division II National Championship once again. They last won the ACHA title in 2022. The Cougars' hot streak will be put to the test against some of North America's best teams in the 2025 tournament. The team is led by forwards Casey Fouliard and Peyton Malchuk, as well as backstop by goaltenders Peyton Murray and Rachel Halderson. The Cougars are headed to St. Louis, Missouri to put their record to the test as they hit the ice on March 21st through 25th. You can watch the Cougars in action in St. Louis on Flow Hockey TV. So go make sure you cheer on our very own Assiniboine Cougars. From Westman This Week, I'm Matthew Schroeder.
So with wins this past weekend, the Cougars end up in the first place in the American Collegiate Hockey Association Independent Division. They finished with 44 points. Eastern Michigan University, University of Wisconsin, and Maryville University ran up the top 4 in the HCHA Division 2 independent standings. The Cougars have a bit of break before they head to the National Championship Tournament in the St. Louis, Missouri. They are ranked number 1 in the West Conference, and the playoffs runs from March 21st to the 25th. And finally, the Surrey High School Sabres basketball program has had remarkable success this season. Here's Nolan Jans with the story.
We're just minutes away from tip-off. If there's one thing in common about all 4 of these teams, they share the same coach. Trevor Penner has been coaching here for a long time, but just took over for the rest of the teams. The junior varsity girls will be hosting the provincials. Trey Penner and Caden Pambrin have been a driving force for the varsity boys. Trey had won the provincials MVP, leading the JVs to the school's 2nd provincial championship. Tonight, the boys will look over the get of the hump, as they've made 3 straight finals, 0 championships to show for it. I'm Nolan Jans from Verdun. This is Westman This Week.
Before we go, we'll just give you a reminder that the Wheat Kings have a doubleheader Friday and Saturday at Westover Place. Puck drops at 7 p.m. And Kira, that is all the time we have for local sports.
Certainly lots going on this weekend. Thanks, John. That's almost it for us. But first, it's an epic battle of cops versus cattle. It was utter chaos near a Las Vegas freeway on Monday. Nevada Department of Transportation crews helped corral a runaway cow. These temporary cowboys captured the bovine, who was moving a little too close to traffic. The cow had reportedly been seen roaming the area for several days. It is now under the care of animal control. That's all for us. We're off next week, but we'll be back with all the news, sports, and international headlines the week after. Take care of yourselves. See you soon.